BFF Podcast, your home for the best fantasy football podcast, period. What? Did we just become best friends? Yup.
They haven't fired us yet. This episode is still being hosted by Alex King and Eric Nedzelski. Our plea to get a sponsor, it went unnoticed. Nobody got in contact with us, and we are still officially unsponsored. We attempted to bring you the remaining 3 AFC divisions in one podcast. The podcast ended up running a little long, so we're probably going to cut it up into little segments. This first segment is going to be the AFC North. Please do enjoy. All right, and we're live.
Okay, here we go. All right. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for another week with the best fantasy football podcast, period. My name is Eric, a.k.a. Nedzelski. Got my man Alex over here, a.k.a. King. We're going to start out this week. We're going with the rest of the AFC, but we're going to start out this program just like we have every single week with some news and updates to begin. Alex, what do you got for injuries?
Oh, we're kicking off to me. Some quick news, some quick updates from camp. Really some quick things that I thought were interesting. Albert Wilson, he is...
Say that 4 times really
He is speculating that he is going to be moved all over the field. He's been used in practice on the boundary, the slot, and in the running back position. They've been coming up with several gimmicky plays, and they're netting good chunks on it. And he also did run a couple of plays in the backfield for the Chiefs, one of them netting in a 55-yard touchdown. So that might be worth looking at. And also there is some news that Cooper Kupp and Jared Goff have an outstanding rapport in camp so far. They traveled to Baltimore and did a little practice, and Cooper Kupp was lined up in the slot, and basically the reports were that he was just unstoppable. No matter who Baltimore put on him, he was catching everything left and right, and Goff was immediately looking his way. So there's another thing to look at. I don't take stuff like that lightly. That's going to be something that's I'm going to definitely have to look at in the draft. It's going to move Kupp way up for me.
That's some good information, especially with the Rams having so much firepower that
there's so many people there
you
that
just don't know where to go. Yeah, now they added Cooks, so
any news at all.
So. Yeah, anything helps.
And then also, last little bit of information, Blunt is expected to maintain goal line roles for the Lions this year, which, just adds a little bit of value to him. We'll get to him when we get to him, but it's just a little information. And then real quick, some injuries will just flow through real quick. Bosa, he left camp, but it's supposed to not be anything serious. It's just his foot. Sorensen for the Chiefs, the free safety, he is out indefinitely. It's not supposed to be season-ending, but something to look out for. And then an offensive tackle for the Lions, Amini Silatolo.
I'm sorry, what's that one more time?
I don't have that information. He is recovering from a torn meniscus, and that's supposed to be... Oh, I think he's with the Panthers. Sorry, I think I said Detroit. He is...
I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Amini.
Okay.
Amini. Yeah, so they already lost one offensive tackle, and now they've lost another one. So that's something to look out for sure. And then Pete Carroll with the Seahawks is expecting Doug Baldwin back for week 1. So that puts a little bit of mind at ease surrounding Doug Baldwin. And then Antonio Brown is expected back real soon in camp. So there's nothing to worry about with him. And that's all I got.
Yeah, no huge injuries so far. That's good. I mean, we're just starting. Week 1 of preseason is about to kick off tomorrow. We'll get a lot of more information for you next week about what's going on, what's happening. Just a side note, Corey Coleman, he was traded from Cleveland to Buffalo, which he right away goes into the number 2 slot for that team for Buffalo. So I know he did Buffalo last week, but... he is someone that you want to look out for because
former first-round pick.
Yeah, former first-round pick. He could be, late-round pick. If not, maybe he's in the free agency and you want to pick him up real quick in the waiver wire. But I think he's going to go late in rounds. 12-team leagues for sure. 10-team maybe. It just depends how it breaks down, especially how preseason goes since he's now with a new team. I don't know what Cleveland's doing. They've got their own troubles, but we'll talk about that.
Lots of troubles.
They like to mess up a bunch of stuff anyway, so they're probably just trying to tank to get another first-round pick. So So we're gonna go ahead and start it off.
No, wait. Before we start things off,
yeah.
it was brought to my attention by one of our listeners. Shout out to John out in Oakland, California. I don't know if he's actually in Oakland, but he is a giant Raiders fan.
Oh God, that's
giant Raiders fan. John S. I won't say your last name to protect you.
Yeah.
Giant Raiders fan. He said that we need to do a little intro on ourselves because not everybody out there listening knows who we are. So let's do that a little bit. Thanks,
right.
John. Thanks, John, for the shout out.
Yeah, good advice. Good advice, John. I like it.
Huge Raiders fan. So my name's King. John, we're going to do a little intro, a little get to know you segment. How about that, John? How about we piece it? A little bit get to know every week.
Yes. Maybe.
So my name's King. I go by King because my last name's King. That's all you need to know about me. For now, I'm going to kick it off to Eric.
Yeah, my name's Eric. I go by Eric. Lots of people call me by my last name. I go by Nedzulski. Did that when I was playing football. So that's just what I go by. Either one is okay. I don't mind either one. Yeah, I'm a huge football fan. I love football, so want to get into the podcast and see what me and Alex could do, man. Yeah, that's about it for me. So
all right, we'll think of some stuff for next week. Just a little bit of get to know you segment.
Yeah, that's right.
Because John wants to know. Huge Raiders fan.
I'm sorry, John. So, hey, by the way, you can also follow us on Twitter.
Twitter.
That's something, Alex. What's our Twitter handle?
At the BFFs podcast.
Ooh, there you go. So,
same on Instagram.
So yeah, so we're going to be everywhere. We are also going to be taking, if you guys, after a couple of weeks, if you guys are interested and you guys like what we have to say and you guys have some questions, like your draft is coming up, you know what place you're going to be picking, and you guys have any questions, shoot us a question. Me and Alex would love to get back with you and let you know what's going on, what we think, who's best to draft. So any kind of questions that you guys have, we will answer personally.
You can get us on Twitter or Instagram. Direct message us. We will respond. Don't worry.
That's right. All right. Well,
without further ado,
we went through the intros.
It's football season, boys. That's something to be excited about.
Yes, sir. We got a little AFC we're going to go through with you. The rest of the AFC.
We're going to try to go quick for you guys.
Yeah, we're going to try to do what we can to get through all three divisions. And if we have a chance, we can do a little mock draft at the end. But as of now, we're just going to kick it off. Start it off with the AFC North. It'd be cool if we had some noises like AFC North. Boop, boop, boop. I don't know. Something like that. We might be adding some stuff into it. But,
we'll get a soundboard. We'll get everything going.
As of now, we're just going to go with AFC North. What do you got? What do you want to start with? You want to start with Baltimore?
Let's go Baltimore.
All right, Baltimore sounds good. What do you got for Baltimore? Kick us off.
Let's just start with the quarterback, Flacco.
Ooh, not drafting.
He has never posted a fantasy season better than 10th and has finished 20th or worse in each of the past 3 years. Actually, the news on Lamar Jackson, he has been very unimpressive so far in camp and definitely in the Hall of Fame game. And actually, RG3 was looking way more impressive than he was, and it means so much more to RG3, I think. So we won't spend too much time on the quarterback situation, but it's just a mess. I would just avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson needs a full year of just watching and reps to be able to get into the NFL flow. So he's great in college and might be great in the NFL, just not year one. He's not a year one guy.
Definitely.
So, Flacco, I have him, 29th? As a quarterback ranking, I don't know if it is. So he is
Didn't
definitely.
even rank him.
He's definitely outside the realm of picking somebody up. So, yep, that's it for quarterback for Baltimore wise. If we go to running back, we got Alex Collins. I have him as decent. What are you thinking of Alex Collins, man?
He's interesting. His ADP's 40th, and he's ranked for me. It's the RB18, right around the tier of Geis, McCoy, and Kenyon Drake. Just because I still haven't heard anything on McCoy.
Yeah, that guy's gonna be a freaking nightmare all the way to when you're drafting. So yeah, so going through some of his totals from last year. Again, he wasn't the main guy all the time, but. He ranged anywhere from 8 to 10 points, and then he hit a great spell, and he was going off. Got some 17s, got some 23s. So he can be good, Baltimore does like to run the ball. So what do we got? Buck Allen behind him?
Yeah, Kenneth Dixon and Buck Allen. Buck Allen actually has missed a couple of practices.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not big on either one of those. So Collins, mid-tier running back. Like I said, nothing crazy, nothing. I don't love him, don't hate him. So
yeah, he only played 35% of the snaps last year. So if his efficiency was crazy last year, 4.7 yards per carry, including 2.1 after contact. So only getting 35% of the work of the snaps. If his efficiency goes down at all, I mean that's going to just destroy his fantasy numbers. So I mean he does have Buck Allen and Kenneth Dixon back there. Both of them. One of them's got a hamstring issue. The other one's got PD and all sorts of crazy stuff issues. So.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a mess, but he's worth a third round in non PPR.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you've already got a solid running back and you got a couple good receivers and you're just looking for someone, I think he'd be a good guy to plug in. So, moving to wide receivers in that Baltimore on the Baltimore team, this is kind of tricky for me. So I actually have somebody that I like that's ADP really really. Low. So Crabtree, Snead are the top two. They're listed as the top two receivers. John Brown came over to the team. So what do you think about any of three of those guys?
I like Crabtree the best out of those, and actually I think he's going to do pretty darn well. I don't think a lot of people are that high on him, but I'm actually higher than most people. I think he gets a good share of the targets. I think he gets 80-some receptions with 850 yards and somewhere around 7 touchdowns, which is good for a late rounder or a late round pick. He's ADP is 67.
So he's what, sixth?
That'd be seventh
round, fourth pick, 7th round. So
yeah, it's a little sketchy, but he is a wide receiver 1, and Joe Flacco flings the ball.
And that's okay. So here's my. I'm trying to do like for each team, trying to do a big target guy. And John Brown for me stands out. So he's got speed, and he gets down the field, and Joe Flacco loves nothing more than to toss the ball up in the air and say, go get it. So I think he's going to get a lot of chances at that. I don't know what his rapport with Flacco is going to be. We'll see that in the preseason. For me, he's one to watch. Out of this whole team, definitely Alex Collins is number 1. Crabtree, but is good at the 7th round. If he gets there, 8th round, whatever. I'd pass on Snead. I don't know how you feel on Snead, but man, John Brown, for me, sleeper wise, I think he's gonna be good. So we'll see what happens in the preseason if he has got any rapport with the Flacco, but. Man, that guy's got speed, and Flacco loves to fling it down the field. So
yeah, and if you're worried about Crabtree,
we'll see about that.
Crabtree soaking up too many targets. I got a little side note on Joe Flacco. He doesn't target any one receiver during his 10 years in the league. He has yet to target one more than 137 times, and that includes 2 seasons with 610 passing attempts. So he likes to spread the ball around. So if you like
everybody.
John Brown and you're worried that Crabtree's going to soak up all the targets, don't be worried about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know. So sleeper pick. Pew, pew, pew. That's my background noise. We don't have anything right now, but that's the background noise for sleeper.
Like a laser gun?
I don't know. It's a laser gun. Sleeper pick. I don't know. I can go. That could be sleeper as well. But anyways, John Brown. I got John Brown for Baltimore as a sleeper pick.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't blame you for taking a shot late.
Yeah, what do you do? Tight ends? I need to talk about there.
Hayden Hurst. He was drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
Never performed well to be a fantasy option.
Yeah. So garbage. So yeah, pass on any tight ends for Baltimore.
Option, but I would avoid him.
Yep, avoid everything. So round out Baltimore. Flacco wouldn't consider drafting unless it's a couple quarterback league.
Not even then.
Collins, we both agree he's good. A 4th rounder, late 3rd, 4th rounder pick. Yeah, probably 4th is where I would put him. Where would you put him?
3 in non-PPR, PPR 4th.
Yeah. So wide receiver wise, Crabtree. 7th round. I wouldn't reach further than that on him. I don't know how you feel about that.
Not unless something pops up.
Yeah, and then honestly, if you're looking for a wide receiver and it's your last wide receiver to put on your bench, I would go with John Brown and see how that works out in Baltimore. So moving on to Cincinnati. We got Andy Dalton. He's not great. But Again, I have him a little bit above Flacco, which doesn't say much, but I got him ranked as a 24th overall quarterback. What do you got on him?
Andy Dalton. Yeah, he's not a great option. He's finished sixth among quarterbacks in fantasy points in 2013, and he's failed to post a campaign better than 12th.
Yeah, I love that he's not a great option though. That's a good side note for. That's a good side note. I'm actually writing this down right now. Not a good out. Okay, there we go. I got it.
Well, last year his 60% completion rate and 6.7 yards per target were his lowest mark since 2011. He's surrounded by talent, but his shaky offensive line makes him more of a QB2 option at best.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I would go even outside if you're drafting two quarterbacks and one to put on your bench, I would still avoid Andy Dalton.
Yeah, he just hasn't figured it out.
No, and he's had a lot of time to figure it out too. So, but I think this is where I think I'm a little higher than most on this next position. So we got running back Mixon and Giancarlo Bernard. What's your thoughts? What do you got on that?
Mixon's good. Giovanni Bernard, he's a good sleeper. ADP is 144. He's a good pass catcher and wildly efficient. So that's always a good thing to look for. Mixon was limited to 3.5 yards per carry and only 1.7 yards after contact, but he was saved by his pass catching efficiency, catching 30 of his 34 targets and averaging 8.4 yards per target. He's expected to be the workhorse. He can handle 20-plus touches per game.
And that's why I think it's important. So he is in a tier ADP-wise. He's going like where McCoy's going, Henry, Collins, Howard. I would have him above everybody up there. So Andy Dalton doesn't really have, besides A.J. Green, really anything. I think Boyd and Ross are the two receivers, which is just probably the worst other receivers that you could have on the team. So I think he's got to have to dump it off a lot. I think Mixon's going to run the ball a lot.
Yeah,
so
they reworked their offensive line, and he was behind Hill last year, but when Hill went down, Mixon averaged 17.6 touches per game through weeks 8 through 12, and then he hurt his ankle in week 13. So if he can stay healthy, I mean, he has potential to put up running back one numbers.
Yeah, so that's where I have him. So I actually have Mixon moved up, and I actually have him in the top 13 of running backs.
I have him 17.
So I have him top 13. He could be even more.
He could break top 10.
I love the rookie running backs this year. I love the rookie running backs. So it's so hard for me to move these other running backs up. But I think I would put him top 13, Mixon, for running back position. So
yeah, I would take him third round with easy confidence.
Yeah, I would too. I would 100% take him above Collins and Howard. Running backs, especially in a PPR league. I don't know if Howard is going to be much of anything, but in PPR league, I would definitely take Mixon. So that's about it. That's all I got there. Giancarlo Bernard,
I think he's worth a late round flyer. Actually,
yeah.
He ranks fourth at the position in targets 298, fourth in receptions 230, and third in receiving yards 2,060, and also ninth in touchdown catches 8 during his 5-year span. So he is definitely productive, to say the least. And Mixon having you wouldn't have to call him injury prone, but he did go down last year. So if he were to go down this year, then Giovanni Bernard would have to step into that role.
Yeah. So maybe a handcuff is what maybe.
I mean, an ADP of 144 and going as running back 45, he's worth a late rounder if you got Joe Mixon, in my opinion.
Yeah, this might be
and he could be a flex option
one of many that we disagree on this, but I believe in handcuffs. I just think if there's a viable option besides that, I would drop that. Now, Gino Bernard is there for you in the last round of you picking, and you want a handcuff that do it. But that's kind of where we both stand on the running back position of the Cincinnati. We got wide receiver position coming up with Cincinnati. We got A.J. Green, which I love him. I think he's going to get 9 million targets. That might be a slight exaggeration, but maybe not, because they got nobody else to throw the ball to. in the wide receiver position. What do you got for the wide receiver position there?
Yeah, AJ Green's the only option they have. His ADP is 20, and he's ranked as the wide receiver 7 in mine. There's not much to say about Green. Just about everyone has owned him at some point in their fantasy career. He's produced top 10 fantasy numbers year in and year out. He isn't a sexy pick, but most likely he could get top 5 numbers easily, and it wouldn't surprise anyone.
Yeah, most places have him ranked 7th as a wide receiver. And again, there's a lot of wide receivers I like, so that's where I would put him.
Yeah, ADP 20, get him in the second round.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a really good running back, and then you pick him up for your top wide receiver. You're going to have a number 1 wide receiver 1 guaranteed, and hopefully an RB1 with one of your first couple picks.
He's going to get a lot of looks, a lot of targets. There's really nobody there. So that's why I like Mixon as well. They got to go one or the other. The other receivers just haven't shown me anything. So
the only other receiver they got is John Ross.
Yeah.
He's not worth a draft pick, but he could be a sleeper candidate in the season. The Bengals did cut Brandon LaFell, so you're going to have to think that Ross is going to get a bigger role, and maybe he's got a little better rapport with Andy Dalton, and they kind of start clicking halfway through the season or early in the season.
That's a lot of wishful thinking there.
I'd put a little star next to his name and keep an eye on him.
Go ahead and erase that star after you put it in there, and then we'll move.
You click the star. So.
Click the star. So we both like AJ Green around 7th for wide receivers. So tight end, they got Eifert. You like anybody?
Let's drop into Eifert just for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's played only 39 of a possible 80 games in his career. He is definitely a tight end 1 when he's healthy, but he could be worth a late round flyer if you got the bench spot and maybe you have a shaky tight end. You need someone to fill in, and he's healthy that week. You can't trust him to stay healthy. So
yeah, he would definitely be a person I would not be trying to get. So it is rough when you can't stay healthy for is less than 50% of the games. Is that correct? Is that the number that I just heard?
Yeah, 39 of 80.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm assuming that that's going to continue. But if it doesn't, maybe he is good as a sleeper. So just feel like he would not be a great tight end to have. So
yeah, just a quick note on the Bengals. They retained their offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor. He was promoted last year, but he was using their old system. He is vowed to bring an entire new system this year. So AJ Green with his lowest yardage output in 16-game season, you shouldn't be worried that they have the same offensive coordinator because he's going to bring in a whole new system and probably will look to use AJ Green to his advantage. Just a little side note on
there you go. That's some good information for you right there. Like I said, I don't know if I would draft Eifert. If you want to take a flyer on him, you can. I would not. Moving on from in that division, the AFC North, we got Cleveland Browns. Wow. What a dumpster fire last year on Cleveland Browns. Not winning the game. I am going to project that they will win at least one game this year. Got a couple people that I love on this team. So we'll kind of go through step by step, just like we have with the other ones. We're going to start with Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield. What do you got?
The speculation definitely is Baker Mayfield should be taking over at some point this season.
My number 1 overall pick better be taking over sometime soon.
So I'm not really sure what to say about Tyrod. He's interesting for me, but not if he's not going to play the whole season.
Yeah, so Tyrod, I have him just outside the top 20. I have him 21st overall for quarterbacks. So not a huge fan of him. Baker Mayfield. Okay, so basically it goes two ways. So Tyrod Taylor is going to take care of the ball. He's going to make the good short passes. He's going to move, with his legs. He's got legs. Baker Mayfield will literally just throw the ball up as far as he can, try to make the big play. So it just depends on who's playing and who's starting to kind of what the complement will be, especially in the wide receiver role. There's two guys, and both of them are completely different. So we'll kind of see once we get to there.
With Tyrod Taylor there, I love Josh Gordon. But with Tyrod out, I'm not quite sure what to think. Hard Knocks was on last night, and their Browns were having all sorts of trouble, and Jarvis Landry's hype is all up because he had a huge speech about working hard, and apparently his work ethic is really, really, really high. So I'm not really high on the Browns anymore after watching that. They just seem like they're a huge mess, and Hugh Jackson is just, he seems soft and not very hungry. He seems content with losing.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, we could all already say that Cleveland's pretty much dumpster fire.
They brought in Todd Haley, but from what it looks like, they're not going to let him do what he wants to do. So
yeah, they should have drafted LeBron James first overall, taking him from the NBA. That might have been their only way to A, sell tickets, and B, have a chance to win.
I would leave Tyrod Taylor. I wouldn't
go either of these quarterbacks. I agree as well. So going to running back, this is kind of where it gets a little bit crazy here. They really have 3 running backs: Carlos Hyde, the rookie Chubb. And then Duke Johnson. Things I've heard about Duke's pretty much solidified the third down back. He will be the pass catching back in that offense, which I do like. I think there'll be a lot of third and longs on this team. So I think that it'll be essential. I think he'll get a lot of catches. I don't really think he's worth anything outside maybe, I don't know, late 9th, 10th round pick. For me, at least.
His ADP is 104. I mean, I would definitely take him there, especially in PPR. They're going to be losing a lot of games. They're only projected to win 5.5. You see what Todd Haley does with Le'Veon Bell. Just throw to Le'Veon Bell. They just gave Duke Johnson a 3-year extension. I could see him just putting up massive numbers through the air this year. I
agree. I think Duke is in the PPR. I think he's going to be 8 to 10 points like every week. Almost
Easy.
Guaranteed. So
definitely a flex option that late for PPR is an easy choice.
So
and then Hyde and Chubb, I think they're just going to eat into each other.
All right, so here's my pew 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 prediction. I don't know. I'm just going to keep making. God, these noises are horrible. We need to get some kind of noise making stuff. So I think Hyde's going to be gone. He's on a 1-year deal. I think Hyde's going to be
Hyde only has a 1-year deal.
Yeah, 1-year deal.
Okay,
so he's a one and done.
That's a lot.
He's a one and done.
Whole bunch.
So I think Chubb is going to be the go-to guy. He's a rookie, and maybe not right out the gate.
I think they eat into each other about the first half of the year, and Duke's the only viable option.
I don't know. I love Chubb. So I think he's
a bruiser.
Right. He's a rookie, so I think he's gonna get the goal line carries. He's gonna get the majority of the carries. I think week 1 through 3, they're gonna kind of take each other's snaps, and then Chubb will take over. Again, I would draft neither of the 3 running backs any earlier than 9th or 10th round. But I think Chubb would be a good 10th round.
His ADP is 112, so that's fine.
112. So that's a little bit.
My look on the situation is at the end of the season, I could see them both with exactly like 130 carries apiece, 550 yards apiece, and about 4 touchdowns apiece. I think they're going to split down the middle.
Really?
And it's just going to look horrible. And I'm going to scoop up Duke in the 10th round and just laugh my way to the bank.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, either of these guys are about 10th round pick. Duke, of course, I love because of pass catching ability. Chubb, I like I said, I like rookie running backs lately. The trend has been a rookie running back has led the NFL in rushing the last 2 years.
Not on this team.
They're just that's true, not on this team. But nothing on this team has led anything except for lead in losses.
Leading in losses.
But otherwise,
that
could be a leading in losses.
And the leader in losses
is Alex this year.
Is always the Browns. And the Patriots. Oh, Tom Brady, you jerk.
Tom Brady back again. Extra large still. I haven't seen my jersey. Autographed, please. So, like I said, I don't know. Chubb, 10th round, maybe 11th. Moving on from this Cleveland backfield, let's go to wide receiver. This wide receiver core is, it's insane right now. So, love Landry, by the way, because of what happened to the other guys. So, Coleman was a number 3 receiver. He's now gone. Gordon is definitely their top receiver, but he is not in camp, and he is questioned for if he's going to be there for week 1. He's going to be there.
He returned to the field for 5 games last season and ranked 21st among wide receivers
on
the Browns. During that span, with 8.6 targets a game with a game and a horrible 42% catch rate with 1 touchdown. 39% of his targets were over 20 yards, though only 5 of the 16 were catchable. So he's had garbage quarterbacks.
He has had garbage quarterbacks. But, okay, so let's go back. So what do we think
But
Tyrod Taylor? Tyrod Taylor doesn't throw deep.
Yes, he does. Oh, my God.
He does not like to throw deep that much.
Yes, he does.
He's a good...
If you look up his stats, he
What's
does.
his stats? Okay.
I don't have it on me.
Oh, see, that's why I like Tyrod Taylor more for Landry. I think he's going to be... I'm going to throw you about 10 balls. Landry will catch 10 balls per game. He will. So he's just going to get you 10 points on just catches. He's going to hit him all day and twice on Sunday.
Tyrod Taylor's 21.2% deep ball rate ranks 7th among quarterbacks over the last 3 seasons, and that matches perfectly with Josh Gordon's strength. Only 4 receivers with at least 40 targets had an higher average of depth of target, 15.7 than Gordon.
But what happens when the ball's in the air? And
Taylor has a 1.29% interception rate, and that trails only Tom Brady.
No, he is great. He does not turn the ball over at all.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He runs the ball like a madman. They're going to have to keep – they have 3 running backs. They're going to keep funneling in. The defense is not going to be able to play cover 2. It's going to be a lot of one-on-ones. You got to keep linebackers in there for Jarvis Landry. Josh Gordon's going to get one-on-ones all day, and they're going to hit him 21% of the time, says Tyrod Taylor, for massive numbers for Gordon.
All right.
I love Gordon.
I'd like Gordon. I just wish he would just get over what is happening with him. Is he going to be okay the rest of the season?
He'll be fine.
That's my question about it, because you're drafting him where? 4th round? 3rd round?
46, so he's going 5th round.
So 5th round?
For a top 10 receiver. He will be top 10 receiver this year.
So you have him going – so I have him ADP as 41. You have him even lower than that?
ADP 46, wide receiver number 24. I have him as a top 10 wide receiver.
Top 10 wide receiver. That's a bold statement right there. That's a bold statement. King coming through with a bold pew, 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 pew.
That's a sleeper pick.
So that's
the
big.
laser gun is
the
a
laser
bold
gun
prediction.
show has happened for Alex.
Laser show, bold prediction.
He's going Josh Gordon top 10. I like it.
Let's move on to Jarvis.
That's good. I like Jarvis Landry.
I don't.
You do not like Jarvis
him.
Landry. Okay. So
But
here's my
Taylor has. It's been said that Tyrod Taylor is Jarvis Landry is Tyrod Taylor's go-to guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's because Gordon hasn't been there
last year.
Right. So Tyrod.
So if you take his average of 7 yards per target, and he's only going to get 110 targets this year.
Yes.
It only gives him 800 yards this season, and he's not a touchdown guy. He'll probably get like 5 touchdowns. That makes him a low-end wide receiver 3/high-end 4.
Well,
and he's going as wide receiver 25. He's going 1 pick. No, not 1 pick. He's going 6 picks behind Josh Gordon and 1 wide receiver pick behind Josh Gordon. Outrageous.
So everything I hear,
I love
they're saying Landry is a bust this year. So a lot of places I'm reading, they're saying Landry is a bust.
Right. You're hearing it right here. He's a bust this year.
I do not agree. I do not think he will be a bust. I think the connection, especially in the preseason, is ginormous. I think the fact that Gordon is not there is just making it even harder for him when he comes back for Tyrod to be like, I'm going to go ahead and throw you the ball. So I honestly think that the rapport is going to be there between Landry and Taylor, and that's going to continue. You know what? Maybe week 6, 7, 8, maybe it changes. But at the beginning of the season, I don't see anything but good things for Landry. I think he's going to be the go-to guy. You know what? If you draft Landry early and he does well, he would be a great trade later on.
Why is that?
Later on, week 5 or 6, if he connects with Tyrod Taylor and Gordon slowly creeps back, eventually Gordon will outdo him.
Hot and end hot.
I don't see. Okay, well maybe, but I think Landry starts out the hot receiver, and then Gordon catches back up later on. And if you have Landry and he's going to be a top 3-4 receiver for 3 weeks, and you can get some good trade for him and get a decent wide receiver and a running back, maybe that's what you do. So maybe that's what you need. You need a good running back, and you have a bunch of receivers, and you're trying to trade Landry. And Landry's going to go. I have ADP 56. I have him
52.
You have 52. So, you're not. It's not like you're picking him in the 3rd round. So,
Josh Gordon, wide receiver 10. Jarvis Landry, wide receiver 38.
Oh wow, 38. You don't even have him on the board. You might. Landry. Landry, extra large. If you want to sign in and send it over here, I'd appreciate it. They have a rookie. No, they don't have a rookie tight end.
Njoku. Not worth targeting.
No, I think out of tight ends, I think he's okay.
Tight ends do horrible in Todd Haley offenses.
I just think size wise, he's a monster. And again, I don't know. I hope Gordon's okay, but
he's gonna
we
be
don't know
fine,
what's
man.
gonna happen here. So moving on from dumpster fire Cleveland.
But wait, okay. So
we have
real
something
quick on
else?
the Browns.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
real quick.
Okay, real quick.
If you look anywhere on the Browns, you're trying to find some information. You're going to get a lot of Todd Haley's going to bring in run first offenses. He's going to try to stop the ball, and he did that in Kansas City, where they led the league in rushing with using 2 backs, which could very well happen with Carlos Hyde and Chubb. So predicting that too. That's a little side prediction. That's one option. But when you look at that prediction of them running the ball and trying to control the ball, it doesn't make any sense with their Vegas odds of winning 5.5 games. They're going to be behind a lot. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. I think they don't go to Baker Mayfield. I think they keep Tyrod Taylor in there. He can create moves and stuff with his legs. He's only behind Cam Newton in rushing yards and attempts and touchdowns. So I think they stay with Tyrod. I think Josh Gordon goes nuts. I think Duke Johnson goes nuts. Those are my 3 that are going to do some crazy stuff this year for the Browns.
So over under for you Vegas wise, Cleveland
5.5.
5.5. What do you think? What do you think?
That's accurate.
No, okay. Well, they can't win 5.5 games. I mean, I guess they can tie, but if you would have to choose, would you go over or under?
I think I'd go over by just a half.
Ooh, you go 6 wins. He's got Cleveland with 6 wins. I like it. So moving on to Pittsburgh, the diamond in that division. Pittsburgh pretty much draft everybody if you can. Big Ben. Okay, so Big Ben is the
QB number 10.
Weird
ADP
one
103
for me. So he is QB number 10. He is also awesome at home and not so on the road. So a lot of people kind of, I don't know, they don't know where to take him. So if I were to draft a quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger, it would be super late. Again, you can get Tom Brady in the 7th round in some drafts. So Big Ben would probably, if you're skipping and you can get Big Ben in the 10th round, oh my God.
Yeah, he ranked 2nd in the league in passing yards, 42, 51, and 4th in touchdowns, 28, and 7th in fantasy points.
And why would that change? They just added another fast speed guy on the outside.
Yeah, he's finished 8th or better in fantasy points per game in each of the past 6 seasons, missing games due to injuries, limited to finishing 10th or better in 8 seasons. But if you play him when he's in there, you're getting an 8th or better quarterback, and you're drafting him at a 10th or worse quarterback. So he's not a sexy pick, but if you pair him with another late-round quarterback and you say he's got a tough defense away, just don't start him that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at home, you start him every single time. Doesn't matter who he's facing. And then on the road, you know, there's going to be so many quarterbacks that are out there in free agency that you can literally pick up a random guy for 1 week and play him instead of Ben Roethlisberger. You can basically draft him beyond the 10th round, and you would be solid in every other position by doing that. You would be solid at wide receiver, running back, tight end, anything you wanted, you would be solid. And if you can get him beyond the 10th round, we're going to do another mock draft at the end of this show real quick, and we'll see kind of where he goes, where some of these guys go. And I'm telling you, if you can get him late, he is basically, out of the games that they play, I would say 10 to 12 games, he's going to be, I think, top 5, top 6 quarterback all those weeks, especially with the weapons that he has. I don't see how he can be. So I like Big Ben to crack the top 10 of quarterbacks. I think most places I look,
since he's finished 10th or better in 8 seasons.
Well, but most places have him 12th and 11th. I have him at 8. So I don't. It's a few spots.
Move on. He's
few
fine.
spots.
He's not sexy, but he's fine.
Few spots. You don't think Big Ben is sexy?
Not a sexy
All
pick.
right.
Come on now.
So now we go to running backs. So what do we
Le'Veon.
got? Le'Veon Bell?
Just real quick, in 5 NFL seasons, Bell's carry shares are as follows: 77%, 83%, 83%, 90%, 90%.
This could be a 99%.
He averages 19.8 carries and 6.3 targets per game in those outings.
Oh my!
He should be taken within the top 3 of everyone's draft this season. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. He's not going to be on the team next year. I mean, they have a new offensive coordinator that they got rid of, Haley. What is a new offensive coordinator going to do? If you think about it logically, he's going to play it safe, and he's going to give it the bell every single play, or he's going to chuck it to Antonio Brown or maybe, Juju. Very, not that frequently. But I would predict he is going to lean on Le'Veon Bell so heavily this season just to make himself look better, because he's got one more season of him left. He's going to give him 400 touches because they don't care if he's healthy for next year because they're giving him away. I mean, I'm drafting David Johnson first overall, so don't listen to me, but Le'Veon has a chance to just put up some numbers that we've never seen before. Yeah,
Le'Veon, and especially in a PPR league, that guy catches balls all day. He lines up as a wide receiver sometimes.
6.3 targets per game.
Yeah, that's sick. Le'Veon Bell, everybody's got him, so it's nothing new. He's going to be in the top 3 pretty much everywhere you look. He's not going to be outside the top 3. Not much more needed to say about him. Wide receiver, Brown, Juju. And I love this rookie guy, Washington. He's not his ADP is like 200, but I love him because he's going to be out there most of the time. Pittsburgh likes to line up on 3 wide receiver all day. They gave away Martavius Bryant. He's gone. So somebody else has got to fill those shoes. So it's going to be Juju, Washington, and Brown is going to be the 3 wide receiver set for most of the plays. So what do you think? Brown, top wide receiver?
Definitely top wide receiver. Yep. He's the most consistent fantasy producer in the business. He should see over 160 targets, should have 100 receptions, 1,500 yards, and maybe even double-digit touchdowns.
Yeah.
Maybe even double-digit touchdowns. Well over 300 fantasy points in PPR. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes first overall in your draft. I mean, if you're playing PPR and he goes first overall, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I would be surprised. But he's still unbelievable. So, yeah, he's definitely number 1 wide receiver. For me, number 1 receiver for Alex. Juju, you like Juju at all?
I don't love him. He scares me a little bit. I know Martavis Bryant's gone, but I mean that's not really going to affect that much. A lot of his great numbers came out of games where Antonio Brown missed. He missed his games. Juju went off. He had 2 monster games when Antonio Brown was gone. Juju ranked 55th among wide receivers in targets per game, so he doesn't get a whole lot of volume. He ranked behind guys like Kendall Wright and Danny Amendola. His 11.6 yards per target were the best among wide receivers. So if you look at, he doesn't get the targets, but he does get massive yards per catch with his catches. So his numbers are going to be a little bit inflated. It scares me a little bit that he doesn't get the volume that you want to see. I think they're going to lean heavily on Bell and Brown this year. New offensive coordinator. They're not going to take that many risks. I know Big Ben likes to throw the ball, but he scares me.
I'm not a big fan this year of Juju. I loved him last year. Had him a couple leagues last year. Picked him up.
Those two games were incredible.
Yeah, he had great couple games. Like I said, Washington, I don't know why I love rookies this year. I am normally the guy that stays away from every single rookie that's out there.
I'm going to say stay away from every rookie.
But
that way
this
you
year,
say one
for
way,
some
I
reason,
say the other, so one of us is right.
One of us is right. So at the end of this year, we'll be like, oh, look at that. Alex was correct. No rookies did anything.
We've never missed a pick.
We've never missed anything.
I like him, but I hate him. Tom Brady, you're still a jerk.
You're still a jerk. Absolute jerk. But yeah, Washington, honestly, I like him as well. Super sleeper pick as well.
Star.
So definitely a super sleeper pick. Tight end?
Pew, pew.
No pew pew on him.
No,
not him. No.
No tight end from the Steelers is a viable choice to draft. Maybe somebody emerges, but I doubt it. Maybe this new offensive coordinator loves tight ends, but nothing I've read has shown that.
Yeah, so Jesse James, Vance McDonald, again, McDonald from San Francisco. Neither of those guys.
Maybe somebody emerges, but it won't be till early season. So.
I agree. Yep, we're gonna. Definitely not. Definitely none of those guys. So
okay, guys, we'll see you later.
Oh, okay, well, see you guys.
And we're back.
Week.
Okay, we're just playing with you. Sorry for the abrupt ending here. That's going to do it for the AFC North. We had to cut the podcast into segments, so we don't really have really good outros planned. But we were kind enough to say goodbye, see you later. Now somebody cue that cool outro music. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Best Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the BFFs Podcast, and make sure to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Best Fantasy Football Podcast. Hey, it's me, the guy at the end of the podcast who sees if you're still here. If you're still here, Hey, how's it going?